Put the crosshair right there and zoom in and double click to get a good intensity. Now, using the right and left arrow keys, you can really see how the lines change as we go through focus. Okay, now it's time to get the data out of the program. So what we'll do is we'll select a region that we're interested in. So let's use this inspect tool. And now the idea here is to draw a box around the part that you're interested in. It's really important to do the align step first because the box position is relative to the alignment position, the little cross. So I'm going to draw a box here. And in order to draw a box, there's a little bug in the program. I'm using the Shift key, and then I'm clicking the left mouse button. And you can let go of the Shift key. If you hold the Shift key down, it makes a square. And if you let go of the Shift key as you're drawing, you can get any shape rectangle you want. So, for example, one thing I might want to do is I might want to draw a box that includes these two lines, just like that. Now, along this side and this side, it's showing you the size of the box in pixels, and also the size in microns here is shown. If you want to draw a box that has a pixels that are stepping by 50 pixels per step, you click the constrain px here, and now as I draw the box, it only allows steps of 50 pixels. So I can quickly sort of do this. And I have the same option here with microns. It says micron. Now the boxes are going to be stepping in sizes of 0.1 micron. Now these numbers on the edges, there's a little bug in the program. They don't update perfectly, but you can still draw it in the 0.1 micron steps. So now, as you can see, when I click with the left mouse button, I can reposition this exactly the way I want it. I want to remind you that once you set it for one image, it's set for the whole series. So you can see if I go through these different images here, it's all going to be aligned because we took the time to align the images first. So if we zoom out, we can see the region where we're going to be performing the analysis. Okay, so let's take a look at this normalize tool here. Now, normalize is designed to help you get the intensity to be a little bit more uniform. Now, if I use the shift click and drag the mouse around, you can see I'm adjusting the uniformity of the, or I'm correcting the uniformity in the illumination. Sometimes it's easier to do this when you can see some color in the image. This is where you control the color right here. So right now it's on a black and white or grayscale. If I click once, blue are all the zero values. This is a red scale, very convenient to use sometimes. I can also change the intensity here to make it look a little bit different. There's a rainbow scale, and there's another scale that makes it look like a resist image. It's either black or white. Okay, so back to grayscale. Let's take a look at how I do this normalization. I'm shift clicking here. Normalize. Okay, there, now it's working. So you can see I can balance the colors to try to get a good uniform illumination in the area. This is the only area that we care about. Okay, now let's extract the data. I'm going to save these images. First, let's go back to grayscale. Zoom back in so we can see what we're doing. And I want to save a series of images. This is where we do that. Extract tool, save images. And it shows us a preview of what one of those images look like. Now, we can change it so that we have more pixels coming out than the standard. So standard would be about 15 or 15 and a half. I'm going to set this to 7.5. Just a second. 7.5. And then you can decide here what kind of output you want. If you want a floating point TIFF, these are good for getting the data into MATLAB and performing more analysis. I'm going to turn those off for now. if you want different JPEG or PNG, you just set these here. Let's get PNG, JPEG, and okay, TIFF floating point. Now if you want a label to appear on the bottom of the image, you click bottom, right side is here. If the PowerPoint slide is going to be all black and you want a black label, you can click that. And now we have the option, we can save just this image or we can go through the whole series. I'm going to show you the whole series output. Now the output is going to go into a special folder that's next to the data that you, next to the raw data. But we have the option to set the folder name here. So this is going to be TF, or ThroughFocus output. Let's give it a 1 here. And say enter. And now let's save this image series. So it's going to go through, it's calculating the background properly. Notice how it's going through focus. It's giving us an estimate that there's about 20 seconds left here. It's calculating. Each time it's going, it's generating the output files. We'll just let it go. Almost done. A few more seconds here. Okay. Now once it's done, we can also use this slider to go quickly through the images. You can see that these would be 30s and these are 25s, I think. Now if you're not happy with that, let's say you didn't like the scale, you can double click, change the scaling. Notice it got a little darker. And now wherever you double click, it's going to change the scale. So if I click here on the brightest area, I get a good scale, and now I can save it again if I want, but I'll do that later. So let's close this window and go to the desktop here and see if we can find where those images were output. So here I'm in the My Documents CCD images, and I see that in this folder I now have TF output 1, and there are all the files. You can have the program group them if you want, but let's take a look. I'll double click. And you can see Windows opens this file, and it says 2 microns here, and it has the file name there. It's very small, but it does have it. So, okay, I'm going to close this, and that's how you get output out of this program. So that's the basics for extracting your data, and that's probably what you'll need for doing these tiny defects in the bright field. The features for line edge measurements and sizes are still being developed, so those should be ready in a couple weeks. Anyway, I'm going to quit now and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Great.